Hi there, students. Rite and ritual. Okay, both of these words are very close in meaning. But I think, let's see, a rite is a religious custom. Not always, though. Not always religious. And a ritual is something that is repeated again and again, a repeated set of actions, and you must follow the set of actions carefully. I think a religious rite might contain various different rituals within that rite. So a rite is an established ceremonial act, usually religious, whereas the ritual is a set of actions performed mostly for their symbolistic value. Let's see, rites. For example, the last rites. This is what some Christians do for somebody who's dying. I think I might say the ritual of the last rites. But I don't think I would say the last ritual. Yeah, the collocation is the last rites. It's got a religious significance. Let's see, you could have a rite of passage where you change your position in society. Yeah, for example, baptism, or the Jewish bar mitzvah, or the inauguration of a building. Yeah, okay, it's like a ceremonial act where you change the status of something. Marriage would be a rite. You could have various rites in a church or in a mosque. Yeah. You could also have fertility rites. Yeah. And then you could have rites where somebody, for example, goes on a pilgrimage, the Hajj, for example, or a pledge of allegiance. Yeah, these are rites, and very often within these rites, different rituals are performed. For example, I would say during the marriage rite, there is the ritual of the exchange of rings. Okay. Let's see, most normally, rite is more connected with religion than ritual. Both, I think, are very often used within religions, but a ritual can also be used much more generally. So he always had the ritual of touching his nose before he took a penalty. I think with a ritual it's also very important that there is a sequence of things that are done, and it's important to do the things in the right sequence, yeah, to say the right words at the right time, yeah. But you could also, when he gets up in the morning, he has a ritual. First of all, he has a shower. Then he lays his clothes out on the bed, and then he puts them on. Or a breakfast ritual. First he drinks his coffee, then he eats his toast, then he eats an apple, for example. Okay, so the ritual is more a sequence of events, yeah, and maybe they're symbolic to the person who does them because they make them feel more relaxed, yeah. He touches his nose before he takes the penalty. This is a ritual because he always does that, and it makes him feel more relaxed, yeah. Whereas a rite is more the whole thing, and more normally religious. So let's see. A ritual, a fixed set of actions and words performed regularly as part of a ceremony. Yeah, the birds were performing their mating ritual. A rite, normally a religious ceremony with a set of fixed words and actions. So there you go. It's got that ritualistic bit, but more. It's a ceremony. Yeah. So the funeral rites. You have to go through the initiation rites before you become a member of the club. Okay, so a ritual done in accordance, a ceremony done in accordance with social custom and normal protocol. So, a handshake, is this a rite or a ritual? I think it's the ritual of shaking hands. Yeah. Maybe when you're signing a peace treaty, maybe at the end you have the right of the handshake to prove peace. Yeah, but ritual is more something that's commonly done. Yeah, whereas the rite is the specific order of words and actions, yeah, which have meaning to them. Okay, a ritual, a ceremony in which actions and words follow a prescribed specific order. Whereas a rite, the customary form for doing a religious service or some other solemn ceremony. I think a rite is much more solemn and religious. Yeah, maybe spiritual as well. I would include that word spiritual within this idea. Yeah, a ceremony. Yeah, a series, a ceremonial act or a series of ceremonial acts. Yeah. I think in rite, in the word rite, the whole thing is important. Yeah. So the marriage rites, we're considering the whole wedding. Whereas the ritual of marriage, we're talking about the fact that this is habitual and you do the habitual things that social custom dictates should go with it. Okay, so as to formality, a rite and a ritual. I think ritual I would give a 5 in formality. You can use anywhere. I think a rite, I'd probably give it a 6 in formality. It's a little bit more formal, a little bit more literary, yeah, or philosophical. Let's see, as to origin, the word ritual comes from Latin ritualis, ritum, a rite. Okay, so the origin is the same, and well, or close, and then a rite comes from the Latin word ritus. Okay, which is also a rite or a ceremony. Okay, so they're both very closely linked, but I think ritual, doing things in the right order again and again and again. Yeah, if you have some sort of obsessive problem, you have many rituals. Yeah, if these have a religious sense, then you might call them a rite. So there you go, a rite or a ritual. They're very close. If you enjoyed the video, give it a rating, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now. The difference between rite and ritual.